seconds and counting.
Hey, what's good, guys? It's Clutch here, and Essam here, back in another video. And for today's video, we'll be talking about the Houston Texans. We'll be talking about one player in specifically that we should draft in the upcoming NFL draft. And this player is Alabama running back Jahmyr Gibbs. And when people are going to hear running back and Jahmyr Gibbs' name and knowing that he's probably going to be a late first, early to mid-second round type of player, or draft pick, they're going to say, hey, why do we need another running back? We have Dameon Pierce. Why should we invest into another running back, especially when we're a team that still lacks a bunch of other positions? And I agree to an extent. I do believe you could get a similar, I guess, type of player. Maybe not similar production, but a similar type of player in later rounds, like maybe like a Deuce Vaughn or like a multitude of guys they could get in later rounds. But I think Jahmyr Gibbs, personally, I think he's special. His stats say it, his tape shows it, everything. Everything about him just says he's going to be a special player in this league, and I really do believe he will be. I'm going to go over his stats over this previous 2022 season. He had 151 total attempts, 926 rushing yards, 7 receiving touchdowns, and 6.1 average yards per carry. Longest run of this past season was 76 from him. He had 44 receptions, 444 yards from the receiving end, 10.1 yards per catch, and 3 receiving touchdowns, and his longest reception was 60 yards. So not only did he show he can be a game changer in the running game, but he can also be a game changer in the receiving game. And I think that's what separates him from guys like Deuce Vaughn, guys like any other guy that's going to be like in that third or fifth round type of range. Receiving threat as well, with ability to be the main running back, really separates him from other guys. Dameon Pierce can be the more so, I guess, like not bell cow, but be that primary runner in like obvious running situations, short yardage situations. And you can put Jahmyr Gibbs when you need a change of pace, like to start the third quarter, to start the second quarter, stuff like that. Like give it like a little bit of a change of pace, like similar to like what the Browns do with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Both of them know their roles. Both of them have specific plays that they go in and out for. They use more Kareem Hunt in the third and fourth quarter when the defense is tired, because they know that his receiving threat out the backfield and that his burst of speed is really going to impact and hurt defenses late in the game. And I think that's what Jahmyr Gibbs can be. While, yes, drafting that at pick, say, number 33, I think that's kind of like an type of thing if you're going to use him in that situation. But considering Pierce, he did get injured. I do think he could have played through the injury if we were actually contending, like if we were actually playing for something. I think they just shut him down because, hey, let's not risk anything major. But he did get injured. And I think a big reason of that was because we were using him a lot. I don't think he's ever going to be a 20 carries a game type of running back. I don't think he's going to be able to handle that much of a workload throughout the season. Like almost every game, be able to carry the ball 20 times. I don't think he's going to be able to do that. At most, maybe like 17, and then give Gibbs the rest with a little bit mixture of whoever your third running back is. I don't know if you're going to carry a third running back for that type of use, but if you do, then something like that. But some points about Jahmyr Gibbs is he transferred from Georgia Tech to Alabama this previous season. So this was his first year at Bama, and he transitioned very, very well. He didn't really have any growing pains. I guess maybe the first game. No, the first game was actually pretty good. I think he rushed for almost over 100 yards, I want to say. I don't really quite remember too vividly. But again, in the West Coast scheme, you're going to need multiple running backs. You see how San Francisco does it. Of course, they had Elijah Mitchell. Then they went out and traded for Christian McCaffrey. But in previous years, they've had Jerick McKinnon, who's the running back in Miami. I can't remember his name. But there was a running back in Miami that used to play for San Francisco. They used to carry like 2 to 3, even 4 good running backs on the roster at the same time. They even drafted Trey Sermon in the 3rd round after having a pretty good starting running back. So that shows that they really value the running backs. They really value the running game. And you need to when you're running a West Coast scheme. You need to because it's going to build up the base of the offense. It helps set up for the play action game. And they use the running backs a lot in the receiving game. You see Christian McCaffrey sometimes line up in the slot. You see him line up in like a fullback type of position. You see him sometimes line up next to the left tackle, next to the right tackle, kind of like not as a tight end, but like kind of like where the tight end would usually line up, somewhere around there. You see CMC do it sometimes, and I think that's what Jahmyr Gibbs can do exactly for us. Be that type of utility player just stuff like that. And Jahmyr Gibbs has the ability to line up in the slot. He's done it multiple times in Alabama. And you've seen him line up in the slot and make plays at the slot. You've seen him create plays lined up as a normal running back. He's able to make guys miss, run through tackles, and he just brings a completely different dynamic than what Dameon Pierce would bring. Some comps that I have for him for Jahmyr Gibbs is Alvin Kamara. I really see Alvin Kamara. The balance, the ability to run through tackles, the strength, even as a not smaller guy, but not the biggest muscle mass type of guy. He's not the biggest in terms of like muscle size, I guess, but he's able to run through guys and whatnot. And I also have a little bit of an Aaron Jones comp. I feel like he, I guess, models his game very similar to those two type of players. And I feel like having a Dameon Pierce and Jahmyr Gibbs duo is kind of like having a Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara duo. They're both similar players. I think Dameon Pierce Ingram is a pretty good comparison, and I think Gibbs and Kamara is a pretty good comparison. And I think younger Drew Brees to Bryce Young is also a kind of a solid comparison. So you're basically creating the New Orleans Saints quarterback and running back duo, or trio, with Drew Brees, Mark Ingram, and Alvin Kamara, and then Bryce Young, Dameon Pierce, and Jahmyr Gibbs. I feel like that's kind of imitating / mocking it, but I think ours has a potential to be what they were. I mean, obviously they didn't win a Super Bowl all three together, but they were very successful. They were all three good. They all three knew the roles. I mean, obviously as a quarterback, you're going to know your role, but both of those running backs, Ingram and Kamara, they obviously both knew their role. But yeah, I think investing a number 33 pick on him, is it my favorite type of thing to do? No, I'm not a fan of drafting running backs high or early, but Jahmyr Gibbs' skill set and what he could bring to Houston, I think it would be worth it, especially in what I mentioned, a West Coast scheme. But yeah, what do you guys think down below in the comments? Would y'all draft Jahmyr Gibbs like with number 33? Would y'all draft him at all? Do y'all think he would pair up with Pierce? I feel like there's no way you can say he can't. I feel like that's a perfect matchup. But yeah, let me know y'all's guys' thoughts down below in the comments. And it's been Clutch City Entertainment. And don't forget to subscribe. Good day. Peace.